Are we doing that little thingy at the end is when you do your thing and I do as the world turns?
Oh, we can totally do that because we're live. Welcome, everybody. Sandra and Chanda Wisdoms is back. This is our third series. We're trying to do this once a month, allowing our schedules to flow. And we just kind of pop on when we feel like we want to go. And boy, is there a lot to speak about tonight, you guys. There is so much going on in the world. It is crazy, crazy. Hi, Sandra. How you doing? Look, we got Donna in the house. Donna's here. And Deborah. Deborah, what's up? You're number 2 in the house. And Amy Ulrich. We love Amy Ulrich. She's one of my moderators. She always has to work on Tuesday nights, so it's very special that she's here today. Yay. Okay. So everybody, this is Sandra McEllis. Everybody, if you don't know Sandra, she is a very dear sister of mine and of the Sparkle Tribe, and she keeps it spiritually simple. She's a wordsmith. She's a zone technique therapist, and she is a highly talented galactic shamanic wisdom guru. So I'm just throwing all of that out there. She's fabulous, out of Washington, D.C., and I love you, and I'm glad you're here. So, Sandra, what do you think we should call, I've already coined it, but I don't think you know yet. What do you think we should call this crazy carnival of October that we're stepping into?
Let's see. October Floptober? I don't know.
That's very close. That's very, very close. I like it though, actually. It took me a minute to come up with it. I was thinking, and I had something in my mind, but then I was like, nah, I don't really want to do that. But Spirit kept saying, this is it. And so I've coined this month in the astrology, in the energetics, opt out October. You're welcome to opt out of all of the carnival because it is a carnival in the Matrix. It's good. We're talking crazy carnies. We're talking fun houses. We're talking roller coasters. October, just opt out if you so choose. That's kind of how I'm approaching it. But it's been very interesting to observe all of the dirty secrets coming out in the Matrix. I honestly have been kind of getting a kick out of watching everything that's unfolding. What about you? Hey, did you realize that they're saying we got another moon in the sky?
Oh my goodness. There is so much information going on that you don't even know what's true and what's dominating the news and whether Diddy likes titties or not. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, it's like it's all a distraction.
Yeah.
And it's taken us away from our solo path of self-healing. And so I love that October opt out because it does allow us to expand.
Yeah.
Opt out October.
Yeah. So I think that, for me, I enjoy observing stuff through TikTok. I just do because I see more stuff. So literally today, the mayor of New York is being sued by the federal government. Trump is being sued because of his social media song that all of the craze with the, eat the cats. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. He's getting sued over that. I just heard this today. There's like we have a massive hurricane. God bless everyone down in Florida, as well as Tallahassee, like all of the panhandle of Florida and Georgia, South Carolina. It's going to really flood in there. They're really preparing. So there's just a lot going. There's other floods going on around the world. This is Neptune at 29 degrees, of Pisces. And we just came out of a Pisces eclipse. We're in between eclipses and we have the solar eclipse coming. And I have been observing completions today. And what do you think?
Well, I think we're coming to, as far as like all the news and everything that's going on, I think that we've got a lot of topsy-turvy things happening, which is winding the end of one thing and bringing in another thing. And it's doing it very quickly. It's like on warp speed. Mm-hmm. And, I think there's a lot more to come because we're in that do tell phase of, things coming to the surface that may have been hidden or may have been seen before and then tried to be hidden, that's getting brought out again. It's canaries are singing, whistleblowers are coming out, lots of things going on, and a lot of ridiculousness in between.
It's a carnival. That's what I'm calling it. It's a carnival.
Yes.
Well, and also, I was saying to a client today, I have a dear, beautiful sister that came by for in-person session here in the Sound Healing, the Galactic Mermaid space. And I was telling her, I said, we live in such a multi-layered reality that you have to realize that sometimes because relationships are ending, we're talking about Libra season, we're talking about justice. Libra is all about justice and fairness of the judicial system. So I'm not surprised all of a sudden everybody's getting sued, and coming to some completions. Some of us, like I had a really great completion yesterday with my son, who finally, after 3 years with lawyers, and I put a lot into this for him, got his Social Security disability. And then today I got a completion on something that really hurt me in the past. And it was given to me all naturally. And it showed and enveloped all of those layers that I couldn't see. Because sometimes you can't see what's going on. Like you don't understand what's going on in the moment. But there's a different layer that's like not copacetic, I believe, to the like oversoul or the creation and the reality that your soul's mission is going on. And I feel like, man, it's just incredible. Everything is just so incredible. It's like the energy is like it's either incredibly in challenge for some, or it's incredibly incredible. Like I've seen so many layers and so many things coming forward through others, through myself. And, we are perception. We are our perception, right? So it's just, to me, it's exciting. It's crazy. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think September brought on a lot of triggers. Many
Yeah.
were triggered. And so, you were hearing, thousands of symptoms that people were going through that could literally fit into so many diagnoses. And honestly, it made many people just throw their hands up in the air and go, I guess I'm exiting this planet. I don't even know what's happening anymore. I'm either, aching so badly and no one can figure out what's wrong. So I must have some mystery thing happening versus looking at it like, okay, medically I'm okay, but maybe this is energetic. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what it is. It's all here to trigger lessons and learning the lessons and the evolving, revolving door. I mean, some of the communications have been so miffed and befuddled that you say one thing and it's interpreted and translated back to you and you're like, I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. You have some people that are so exhausted and others that are so energized they can't even understand exhaustion at the
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think September has really stirred the soup and brought to the surface so many different things. We need to take the time to start skimming some of that
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
to the under layers, the underbelly of some of the things that are going on. So October can unfold in even more of a learning and self discovery, which will happen
Yeah.
on a global and collective level as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just cannot get over all of the stuff that's happening in our lives so fast, so quickly. It's like sometimes hard to keep up. So I don't know if you heard, but last Tuesday, for the first time ever, when I was channeling, Michael Jackson came through. And then he
Mm-hmm.
came through multiple times, and that's never been my thing. I've never channeled a celebrity or well-known person. That's just never been my thing. Um, but then I get these messages from a few folks saying, this astrologer was talking about Michael Jackson the day after you were channeling him. Then I get another message from another lady that says, I heard so and so whatever YouTuber channeling Michael Jackson yesterday, and you were just talking about, like, you had all, like, it was the man in the mirror, and every card reading for all 4 elements, that's 4 tarot reads with oracles, big long reads, my reads, and each one of them had the man in the mirror. I mean, like, literally some card, 4 different decks had the mirror reflection in that read. It was crazy. I got up that morning and I listened to that song and I cried. There was so much tenderness, and it just felt like a lift had, I had experienced just this beautiful lift. And then this, I have a crazy young, fun starseed. She was here once on Cosmic Convos, Jessica Black. She and I text, and she sends me a message, and she's like, this and this and this, Michael Jackson, I saw this, and da-da-da-da-da. And then she says, I've been also seeing Britney Spears. So I came back, I said, well, it's like Michael Jackson is the one that's pulling back the curtain to reveal the wizard from Wizard of Oz. And that Britney Spears is Dorothy coming on up the golden road so that she can go home finally and click her damn heels and say, okay, it was within me the whole time. Mm-hmm. And every one of us, it's within every one of us. And I'm just thrilled. I'm just like, let's go with this. What next? What's going to happen next? And that's not to take away from people who are struggling and challenging, because trust, we're all the food, the economy. We can name a topic and go after it. Let's check these comments and see if we have $10 million illegal contribution. Thank you, Ron. Yeah, for the New York mayor. 10 million. That's crazy. Now it's time to put your head in the sand. Now, we're not putting our head in the sand. We're raising that collective frequency. That's for sure. Okay, so I want to go over here and see if there's any other. Let's talk about spiritual warfare in the physical. Oh, this is a good one. Sandra. Ron says, let's talk about spiritual warfare in the physical. What do the guides want to share?
Well, the way my guides have put it is there's a lot that's going on that has been dissolved and disintegrated, but people are still carrying it around because they haven't allowed it to come to the surface. Your physical body is what houses your spiritual self, which is what guides you on the path. Your car can just sit in your driveway, but it doesn't go anywhere until you, the driver, get in the seat, turn on the ignition, and operate it. So it takes 2 people to move that car out of the driveway. So yes, there are some things that are still going on, but they will lessen. Unfortunately, it's going to feel like it's heightened because we're feeling so much of that pain. And we just talked about, and you and I have talked about behind the scenes, what people have been talking to us about with their physical pains and all of the ascension symptoms. The list just grew longer and longer and longer. Because every symptom that you're getting is time, your body is saying it's time to take a look at something. Mm-hmm. It's time to take a look at something. So it's interesting that Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror, to look in the mirror, because that's how my guides have shown me. Whether you need to do a 180, whether you're being triggered by other people, it's telling you to take a look at yourself, to go within, to do some self-healing. So I'm not surprised by any of this. However, I think we need to stop blaming that there's a culprit or there's a wizard out there poking at you, keeping you from going within and going home, because you have all the tools that you need to override that.
That's true. That's true. You are the wizard. You are the wizard. In spiritual warfare, all of the spiritual warfare has it's multi-layered. And so it's all within you, because you're projecting out your consciousness, your reality. You're that fractal in the flesh suit projecting out what you're. And for me, I'm just like, I am staying in such a high frequency. Like I have been buzzing. And I'm not sleeping a lot at night, but when I do sleep, I'm having incredible dreams.
Mm.
And I feel like too. Okay, so I saw the space arcs that were in the water. Okay, so I'd had dreams about this, and then finally got confirmation on the space arcs, and they're it's almost like a flat like this. I can't really, but they were coming up out of the water, and you could see all the water that was going down the edge of these round space arcs, and the water was just coming down, but it would like glisten almost like gold. And I also feel that there are more like galactic ships outside of our realm. And I don't feel, and I know that this is not going to be popular because there's a lot of astrologers like, okay, we're getting another moon. I don't feel like that's another moon at all. Like the instant I heard of it, I was like, that ain't no moon. It's something else. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like everything, all of the things coming into play is a reflection of what's going on inside of all of us as a collective. But we all are demanding change. And that's one thing that's very strong that I feel within the collective. It's like the spiritual warfare is within yourself and how you want to perceive your reality, right? But the way it's showing up, whoa.
Oh no, I agree with you. And then, many people feel like, the chemtrails and all these other things that are going on are making you sick. And, you have the ability to say, I've been working at both ends. I'm a little ragged out. Or you can say, I'm getting sick. I need to do
Mm-hmm.
something, or something made me sick. And then
Mm-hmm.
your body responds to that. Every cell in your body responds to that. Or again, you can flip it around and say, you know what, I've been stressing a little bit. I haven't been eating as well, haven't been doing my self nurturing, haven't been taking my time to ground, or whatever it is that you choose to use from your toolbox. These things can always be changed by a split second of how you set your mind and your
Yeah.
heart in alignment to better movement.
What I was just saying today was, to remember your your consciousness is in check at all moments, like, and just to take, even if you only just take like 2 or 3 minutes in the morning to just really consciously breathe and ground. Same thing at night, especially at night, because you're going into dream time, and if you're worried about spiritual attack, guarantee if you're projecting that out, the universe is going to show up and give you something to be scared of, right?
Yes.
I'm even very, very cautious with, like, I love my smudges and I do my rituals because I like it and it feels good. And it feels good like I'm honoring, the ancestors and whatnot. But I know at a deep core level, I don't need any of that because I'm a lightning rod, and because I'm constantly, able to project that out. I'm the same way with my food. I don't eat a whole lot, and when I do, I just bless it and clear it. I just use my energy. I use these magic hands. I use these magic hands on many. And I also feel like it's important that it's not just grounding. It's understanding that you're grounded at all moments. Doing the practice is always good. It's just a permission slip to make sure that you're grounded, right? But just knowing, just your knowing, I would say, just be in the know that you are already grounded. Because anxiety is a big one. I mean, this month, we thought last month was anxious. This month is huge. We've got 5 moves going on. We've got Jupiter retrograde, Pluto going direct. Then we have Mercury entering Sag, Venus entering Sag. She just entered Scorpio. All these planets are going really fast, like they're in top speed. And then, of course, the sun will enter Scorpio, the psychic, it's going to be deep psychic guru type of surgery, and it's not an easy transit for a lot of people. Then that Libra eclipse coming up next week on Tuesday. Um, and then a really big, huge full moon in Aries that's going to be intense. Aries is aggression, and it's naive aggression. Mars moving through Cancer is very, I mean, it normally Mars takes 2 years to go through the whole zodiac. Okay. So it's 2 years. And when he goes retrograde, he's there for a long time, a lot of the time. And he's going to be in and out. This whole transit will be until April. Then we have a huge, huge cycles next year that we're preparing for. I feel like we, throughout September, did a lot of transition, and now a lot of stuff's just coming out through all of these shifts and changes and transitions. A lot of purging happening through Libra season, but a lot of people really battling for their security. A lot of people feeling that insecurity. Have you noticed that? How people are
Yes.
really battling the inner insecurities as well as their home security and homeland security, all of it.
Yes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think the security thing is a huge thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I think people are feeling like their controls are being taken away from them, and they're trying to reach for them and have more control in their life. And we've got elections here in the states that are going to affect the world. We've got
Mm-hmm.
so many things that are outside of us. But again, there's things that we can't put our hands on all the control dials. The only control dials we can put our hands on are the ones that we physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and etherically can deal with and handle. And so that's why it's very important to look at all the information, the triggers, as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to expand, an opportunity to start having dialogue. Ask, what does this feel like? What am I thinking in this moment? Should I turn left? Should I turn right? How would this affect me? How does this affect other people? And
Mm-hmm.
allow it to be something. And when you start getting more into that inner space of self, you start looking at all this outer stuff. Again, I said the other day, name that tune. It could be a planet, a CME, a news channel. It could be anything that's going on. How does that affect you? And is it painful enough for you to make change? And do you have to wait for trauma to occur to actually start making changes, even little subtle changes in your thought process? But I think even the changing of gears have people, feeling like they don't have control. So it's bringing up this security of what exactly is in my control.
And that's the whole thing, is there's not really much of anything in our control ultimately. We're being guided for certain. Our highest guidance needs to take the wheel. We're not human. If you're here, you're not human. If you're listening to this, you're not human. You're a galactic spiritual being in a flesh suit having that human experience. But I believe we're becoming homo luminous. And I don't even want to call us humans or homo sapiens, because I've been seeing some magical stuff happening around my realm. I mean, coming up in my face. And I'm trying to think, so many, so many different. Well, we were having the swirlies up in here the other night, and knocking. I've heard knocking, and then I've heard it disembodied voices quite a bit. Now I used to, when I was very young, listen to, I'd hear the disembodied voices, fairies, but now it's been a long time. It's just kind of faint, maybe there. I kind of feel and sense, and then I channel and hear. And but I've been having a lot of supernatural stuff happening, and maybe because Venus is in Scorpio and is activating my sun and my rising. But yeah, and it's really been interesting to observe the animal world. Even, I've had so many encounters with these blue herons, a white heron now. I just saw yesterday, and they're coming up. They're not flying away. I mean, unless I'm driving up on them, but I'm able to speak with them. I'm being this interaction between me and the animal world. My birds, it's hilarious. I'll walk outside. I can't wait for you to come so I can show you. I'll walk outside of my birds. I'll be like, "What's going on, Susie? how you doing? I got a little bird, Susie, and she will look at me. I've got it on video, one of my TikToks. She literally, I'll say her name, and this wild dove will look over at me like it knows, like, hello, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm good, you know. Anyway, I know that was all over the place because I'm all over the place, but there you go.
Well, I love it that you're saying that because, first off, we haven't given the animal kingdom the credit that it deserves
Yeah.
for understanding the English or whatever language we speak. They understand it very well. They understand the energetics and the intention. And so I'm not at all surprised that the blue heron isn't frightened when you get close to it because
Yeah.
it just knows energetically you're there to kind of be in the same frequency realm in proximity to each other versus, okay, close enough, take it off here, you're a
Yeah.
human, you may hurt me. But I'm not at all surprised. I'm not at all surprised that you're continuing to do rituals because those set boundaries. Those set
Mhm.
boundaries. So it could be
Mhm.
like, look, I know I'm safe, but just in case some of you folk out there didn't hear me, I'm just gonna burn some more sage and
Yeah.
light a candle just for those newcomers that may come
Yeah.
along that
Yeah.
need to know I trust I'm safe, but I'm letting you know I've got my boundaries up. And the
Yeah.
other thing about the interesting thing about the energies right now is I've been getting the uh once again like shapes and colors just appear out of random floating around the room,
Mhm.
and I can close one eye and look and close the other eye and look. I can close my eyes and see them. I can open my eyes and they will still be the same shape, the same color, and they will move around for a good 5 or 10 minutes and then dissipate just so that I can't question, was that from a light or was that from a this or was that from a that? They
Mhm.
were making
Mhm.
it very, very clear once again that there's a
Mhm.
conscious, loving presence in many different shapes, sizes, and colors that
Mhm.
are here. And I'm not at all surprised to hear you say, I heard voices when I was a child, and now I'm
Mhm.
sort of hearing, disembodied voices now because
Yeah.
it's starting to bring up some of the gifts and talents and things that we came in already skilled with.
Mhm.
Not necessarily
Mhm.
a gift and a talent, just that you were already skilled with it as a child. When life happens, things change. I've been hearing a lot of the same thing, and I just kind of like, I just smile.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just like,
giggle.
I'm just like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, 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 totally.
Mm.
It's like, we as a species, I believe, have, like, when I'm with a client, I'm trying to activate their remembrance to the code, right? And even more so than me, like, I'm just going at it. But I feel like we as a humanity, as these beings, if you include all of us, the NPCs, the whole package, okay, human beings, all of it, I feel like that we have really supersonic leveled up. Like, it's been a super shift. Yesterday, I woke up and I was like, there was a massive shift. I could feel the huge shift. Not to say that we're not timeline shifting every moment, every time we choose, but I feel like everyone has all just like been. It's like the creator took us in his hands, her hands, it hands, whoop, and just up leveled the entire planet, all of you, whether you like it or not. And it's flipping a lot of people out. And remember, you spoke to triggers. Every trigger is an activation. Every activation a trigger. That came through my guides a
Mm-hmm.
while back. It sure did. Okay, I've got some more. Looks like we got some questions here. Okay, let's see what you got. What you got, Ron? Okay, Ron says, how do we best practice astral travel? Hee hee hee. Do you astral travel?
So I have,
Uh
and
huh.
I've done it unintentionally and intentionally.
Uh huh.
And I think in the last year or so, they've kept me more grounded and a little closer to home
Mm-hmm.
and have asked me not to intentionally go out because of collecting some debris that is being cleared by Source Creator,
Mm-hmm.
and that my physical energetic body wasn't to come in contact with a lot. So I never pushed the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
let my guides always tell me, you know, what to do, how long to be there, whether it's a meditation,
Mm-hmm.
a message that comes through,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. But yeah,
Well,
that's my answer to that.
the last time I popped out of, okay, so your question, Ron, was how do I practice? I don't practice. It just happens. Like I do not intentionally go, okay, I'm gonna lay down and astral travel. Although for a while there, I would just lay down and envision myself going to visit my grandchildren that I miss so much so that I can go in and check on them. I guess you could kind of call it remote viewing. Um, but I don't, I will be in one space of the house and then I'll be outside in the backyard. And sometimes I don't remember how I got there. I've been able to do this. I remember at camp when I was a kid, I was popped out of my body and my body walked out into the lake. I was in my little nightgown that I was wearing to sleep at the little camp out, and I'm in the lake when I wake up. I don't remember getting there. So for me, I don't really have to practice. I just do. And I do know that I have guides that are holding me, watching me, taking care of me. I know my body is always protected every time I lay down to sleep. And that's my favorite thing to do. I'll be honest with you, is sleep. I love to sleep.
Mm-mm,
Let me
mm-mm,
sleep because I am doing some
mm-mm,
serious dream work. Like I have been on multiple planets. I was back in my little egg as the cop wearing the spacesuit. It's like a blue spacesuit, but I'm all blue. My face is all blue. And yeah, doing in my egg. Ever since I was a kid, I had a dream that I was in this egg and I'm flying around. It's just me, and there's no controls whatsoever. I'm just making it go. And I would go and
mm-hmm.
just catch bad guys, all these kind of weird alien looking dudes and stuff. And I think I was up in Orion, uh, pretty sure of it. I think that has a lot to do with my need to kind of like fight and battle. That's like something that's been really kind of built into me. But I to just say I'm going to go astral travel, I don't think so. I mean, like it's not been a thing for me in a long time. But if you're wanting to, you just got to say to yourself, speak to your highest self, say, I want to astral travel. I want to go and experience this. And then lay down or get in your chair or get in your pyramid and go. I'll tell you right now, you want to learn how to astral project out of your body very easily, do it in this pyramid. And whenever you have some kind of higher frequency around you, that's the best time to do it. But you have to be able to get that brain to settle down. You have to be able to really release the body and go. And I'll be honest with you, when I'm with the death doula client and it's end of life, and I'm teaching them how to release the physicality and how to come up out of the body, I, honest to God, don't remember a lot of what I've told them. I see a few things, on the videos, but I don't always watch. I don't have time to sit and watch all these videos that I make. I mean, I love making the videos, but sometimes I don't have time to watch them. But I do feel like that you're guided, and it's all about you. It's all about you opening yourself up, saying, writing it down, whatever, voicing it out, that you are open to learning how to be more multidimensional in your physicality because we're such huge beings in these flesh suits. So I don't know if that answers your question, Ron, but that's kind of what I got.
Well, I want to piggyback on that for just a second.
Please.
Just understand, Ron, and anyone else that's listening that wants to astro travel, and you don't, you want to, you're trying to, you're attempting, you're putting it out there to your guide team in the universe, and it doesn't happen. It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because there could be another skill that needs to be honed in on. There could be another tool in your toolbox that needs to come forth, and astro travel just isn't one of them at this time. I also want to talk about the out of body thing you were talking about. Out of body thing, it's been happening a lot, and especially in September. um like you said, you could be in one end of the house, the next thing you know at the other, and it's like, I don't know what just happened, how did I get there? Or
Mm-hmm.
I could physically be in one place and not believe that I'm actually in that place.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I'm not, am I actually here? And almost having to pinch myself. And one day I went for a walk. And next thing I know, I whoosh, went completely out of body. And when I popped back into body, I was only like maybe 50 feet ahead. And I said to myself, well, damn, couldn't the whole walk just have been over? Couldn't I
Right?
have gotten my workout in and just been out of body and let my physical and mechanical
Ah.
body do its thing? So
Yeah.
I just know that I'm safe. It's just like when you're driving and you zone out when you're driving and you're like, you kind of come back and you're like, where am I on the highway? Did I miss my exit? How did
Yeah.
I get this far? Nothing seems familiar. There is, like you were saying, there is this protectiveness that's around you at all times,
Mhm.
this unconscious protectiveness that we are learning to bring into consciousness. And
Mhm.
that's where a lot of this fun stuff is going to begin when you set your intention and consciously start doing some of these interesting sensory perception type tools and
Yeah.
techniques.
Yeah, I like all of that. I do. I feel like everything is speaking to us right now. And I feel like that we are really expanding and then having to retract sometimes. It's like I said at the beginning of the year, this is the year where you don't want to do it the same way you've always done it, and you've got to expand and then know that you'll have to retract. It's an expand and then retract. Because it's kind of like a tug of war, right? You know, like you got a couple of teams just pulling on that rope, and it's all within you. Everything is being pulled up, weeded out, get the stuff out, get it out, and then clear up so that you can vibrate higher. And then you won't have to try to go out of body. You'll just pop out of body. And I feel like, those times that when it happens, I'm not afraid of it. Like, because I know what I'm doing is what's meant to happen. And I know I'm not crazy. I know it's happening. I feel like, too, if we could all realize the importance of how we are that conduit, and each person, I don't care if you're not doing nothing. I don't care if you're just, maybe your job is to sit as a lifeguard on the beach. Well, you are conduit. You're putting your conduit of your light into the planet, then raising that frequency. We can flip it on up and hopefully have a way better society coming. So much technology coming our way. Yeah, I've been embracing the AI art. I even have someone who's wanting to buy my AI art to produce it in a 3D print thing. So I was like, sure, I'll sell that to you. It was really neat. I got an offer on my piece that I did for Pisces, the eclipse. That's cool. Have you been doing anything with AI, or are you just kind of getting your feet wet there?
Not really. I'm not super experienced at it, and I'm also not an artist in the way that you are. Um, I've just been allowing the energies just kind of flow and expecting that more people that become in tune, the more creativity is going to hit this planet and hit through each individual. And we're going to see more information come out as far as AI and equipment and tools that are really going to help us in every field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got. Looks like we got a spammer. Y'all just ignore the spammer that's on Facebook there. I'm not gonna pop over there and worry about trying to delete it. I'll delete it later. Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions. Looking for questions. I see all you lovely folks in the chat. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday. Oh, here we go. Amy Orch has one. What planet is causing all these intense dreams? I've been flying out of my body up into outer space. Sounds familiar. Well, remember, the planets don't cause anything, they're a map. But if you wanted to look at the culprit, it is probably Neptune, and Neptune has beginning to square. No, there's a grand water trine from Venus, Pluto, and Neptune. So this grand water trine is just now forming. It's kind of a wide trine. So like it starts and it eases on, and then it's it's there for like a month. So it's like these energies of the emotion and flow and dreams and mysticism and all of that stuff is in big play over this month, which, makes all of the edge crank up a little bit because everybody's emotional and everybody's on edge. And it's a pressure cooker type of season. I feel like there's just going to be left and right. There's just going to be just this and that, like for everybody in your personal life and out in the matrix. It's just going to be boom, 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 one thing after another. And that's just the season we're in right now, especially because we have 2 planets that are slowing down because Jupiter is about to go retrograde. So he's slowing. Pluto is about to go direct in Capricorn to go leave Capricorn for the rest of our lives, never to return, never to come back. And that's world powers, world leaders, world governments, corporations, CEOs, the shipping, like the ports, all of our ports. They're saying that they're going to shut down all the ports and strike by the 1st. Like that's all nationwide, like all the ports. And like literally our goods, I'm going tomorrow and I'm going to stock up on everything that I need. Just simply, and I'm not doing it out of fear, but at the same time, I'm not going to be without. Plus I need to go to the store anyway. But go get what you need and start thinking like if you need medications or if you need something, there's something you have to have. You want to make sure that you get like a 3-month supply if you can. That's what I did because I'm doing the hormone thing because all the natural stuff just wasn't working for me. But anyway, long story short, I feel like there's so much coming forward that we really got to be on our toes. We really got to realize that spirit is guiding and just it's kind of like I feel like sometimes I'm just like, okay, what do you want me to do today? And we just do it. Like it's just like we just do it. We just do it. And if you feel like you need a rest. It's kind of so simple, right? It's like basic stuff of being human, but it's also so complex. It's such an
beautiful thing
oxymoron.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I apologize. We have a little hiccup. That's the beautiful thing about conscious minds. And you know what? It's the intuitive that gets us into today. This is okay. What is it that I what is it that needs to be done today that I really want to do or can do? Or what's on the agenda today? Because sometimes our agenda is not the spiritual agenda. And we're so used to mentally overriding the spiritual agenda. And we get halfway through our mental agenda and they get halfway through our physical yearly life. And then we're like, what the hell? This isn't what I wanted. So instead of continuing to do these turnarounds, start looking in the mirror now. Pay attention to what it is that your messages are. And then what is it in this day, in this moment, that I could be or do that would contribute to better to my soul path, to my life path, and how could I enhance other people's lives while I do it?
Mm-hmm. Enhancing other people's lives and then expanding upon your own from doing all of it, that makes a lot of sense too. Yes, Amy says, is Neptune in Pisces? Yes, in Pisces. My mom is able to travel without trying. She just does it. All right. Zavia was our winner from last, was it Virgo? No, not Virgo season. It was Leo season winner. She won the big Leo season package. Thanks for being here, Zavia. That's cool about your mom. Awesome. I do it kind of like spontaneously whenever, but at the same time, I just trust. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not, I'm not worried about it. Ron says, yes, all of our gifts are returning. Remember, they're not returning. You never lost them. They're all within you. You just have to remember. You just got to remember. That's the big, and a softening. I feel like there's such a softening going on right now currently. A settling within my soul, within my spirit. Whenever you finally have accomplished something, that feeling of release of, I just cried and I cried and I cried. I was so grateful that this Venus, because I had looked at the astrology back 2 months ago when we found out about this court date for Landon. I'd looked at the astrology and I said, you're going to get it. I know you will, because he's a Taurus and Venus had just moved into Scorpio and it was opposite his sun. And Venus often in Scorpio means, okay, let's look at what's just here, let's look at what's fair here, and let's give the payout, because Scorpio is all about other people's money and getting the payout. It's like taxes for whatever you're owed, but it has to be just and fair. See, that's the thing. If it's not just and fair, it's not going to fly. Write it in the comments. That's a good one. If it's not just and fair, it's not going to fly. It's just not going to happen. Not during the Libra season. And that's why all this stuff is coming out. It's all coming, and it's coming out in our personal lives too, not just in the Matrix.
Well, I think in our personal lives too, there's a lot of stories coming up about, I knew that, I saw that, and someone's just getting their just upcomings. You know what I mean? And it's like, I knew that, I saw that. It's about damn time that person got their shitty karma, and
Right.
so, and it's happening, in the news with all this stuff going on. It's about time this got exposed, and all these other things that are linked to that exposure. And so it's all in how we're going to respond and react to it. I mean, yeah, it can be kind of gratifying at times when you're like, I knew that. I knew that. Yeah. And then you gotta take a step back, and you gotta go, you know what? I don't need any more exercise as a spiritual athlete in that department. That karma was theirs to learn. Thank you for letting me see it. I take no self-gratitude that they're getting their butt kicked right now, and they did deserve it. But I'm just saying that's coming up, collectively, individually. It's coming up, in the mainstream media with everything. And so there's going to be more and more and more of that coming up. But with all that coming up, it does not negate our inner work that we have to do, because how we control and work our responses is how quickly we can move past something. For the last couple months, I feel like I've hit so many roadblocks. Like all of a sudden things are flying, and I'm at a dead end roadblock. There's nowhere to turn. And so you get into that human, or I'm upset, or what do I do now? Or you're angry, to immediately flipping it around and going, oh, this idea, that idea, this idea. Next thing you know, my whole physical vehicle is turned around in another direction. And that dead end is way in my rearview mirror. Like it never happened, and it could have been within days. So we got to work on these pivoting, adapting skills, being in our conscious mind and creating how we want to respond to some of the crazy.
And I feel like too, as we're going through all of that and we're responding to it, we need to also remember that we have, I believe we have galactics kind of like working through some things for us, right? That we're here, boots on the ground, I guess you would call it, and we're doing our best. Every person, I believe, is doing their best, whether they're aware and awake or not. I have to believe that, because that's my reality. And even those people that get served their karma, and trust me, I found out some stuff that I was just like, I am so glad that I know all of this now. But it was such a confirmation. I had a friend, partner, who pretty much burned me and ghosted me for no reason a couple years ago. And then I found out today a lot of stuff that gave me a lot of good. I wasn't supposed to be involved with that person. I wasn't supposed to be getting triggered and worked over and being all up involved in it. Because if I had, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing the past. This is the layer thing. We are in a quantum reality, multidimensional reality, right? There's multi-layers to what's happening here. And something that's going on. Wait, where's the camera? I always thinking I'm over here. Something that's going on up here in the top layer, you still got 3 layers, like a cake, to get to the bottom where you're at. You don't know up here if they've done put a straw down in there and they're trying to blow like magic dust in you so that you can activate the whole grid or whatever. So you got to like understand that, you're at the bottom layer and you've got to deal with it. even though, yes, we're multidimensional, but this is still a 3D reality, right? Like we still got to deal with the 3D BS that's going on.
Mhm.
I think we have some more questions here. Let's see here what we got. Yeah, Kelly says another good reason not to watch the news. Yeah, I don't watch the news, but I catch it on TikTok and it's
Of course.
hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
love my TikTok. I don't care what anybody says. I see some of this stuff and I just roll. I'm like, I
You
cannot
can't
even
help
believe
it.
it.
You just look at your phone and shit just pops up everywhere. And
I
then it
know.
draws you in. And you're like, I'm just gonna take a quick second. Just a quick little second to take a look at
Uh-huh.
that. All of a sudden you're like, and then you're reel it back.
I don't know. I get such a surge though because I'm such an electric being. I get such a surge over. I'm like, oh my god, I cannot believe I just saw that. And then you walk back and you're back in your own reality. And you're like, okay, what's next? You know, it feels like the older I get, the more this lifetime becomes fanatically awesome and strange. And I understand that there's not going to be always these great good times. Right now, I'm kind of in a high moment. Who knows what's going to happen next? But you know what? I've done so much work and I've gone through so much of the traumas already that I really feel like if another trauma comes, I will handle it so much differently. It's like every time we have to process and go through a trauma, we always handle it so much differently. I would say in a better way, if that's the best word. I'm not really sure. But it looks like we have one more question here. Ron. Okay, Ron says, been praying and meditating for increasing discernment and intuition. Any suggestions, Sandra? He wants more discernment and intuition to increase within him.
Well, that's a combination of you and your higher self merging into one. And that's really what the whole twin flame thing is about, because the twin flame is not another physical being wandering around the earth waiting to connect with you magnetically. Like, woohoo!
Thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah, that's what they told me years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
never went for the twin flame thing myself. I was like, that's kind of,
people are
no.
still pushing that narrative.
No,
And
no,
people are
no,
still
no.
falling for it like it's the Harlequin romance. I'm missing
No.
something.
Right.
So, you've got to
Harlequin.
trust that inner barometer of yours is on
Mhm.
cue
Mhm.
and that it is guiding you. And you can dialogue with it all you want, or you can just trust it and move forward. You know, I was thinking about something today about intuition, and a lot of people want to wait around for someone else to tell them what to do.
Mhm.
And the picture that came into my mind was putting a box of crayon in front of a child with a coloring book. They don't wait there for you to tell them what color to start with.
Mhm.
They just start coloring. Whether they're in the lines or out of the lines, it doesn't matter. They're creating their own world of creativity through their intuitive imagination. And we embrace it and we love it. And we have to get back into that.
Mhm.
Just pick something that makes you feel like you're connected more
Mhm.
and is guiding you in a way that keeps you in this register around the heart center and less into that monkey mind.
Mhm.
And trust that you're already together with your higher self.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of just listening to one another.
Mhm.
And so you don't need to do any of these deep dive meditations. Just start walking through your life and lighten it up, put a smile on your face, and choose the vibration of love and let life begin to start occurring and showing you how connected you really are.
Bam! That was a good one. Do I have a bell in here? I think I took all the sound bowls next door. Sorry, I was going to give you a bing. Oh, I got this. I got this.
Bada
I got
bing, bada
this.
bong.
Ah.
Woo!
Okay, so I think I'm gonna add to that a little bit.
Please.
I think releasing the need to control everything will assist you in getting into that meditative state. Really understanding and understanding that you're the only one here. It's just your consciousness. And every one of us, myself, Sandra, is you looking back at yourself, speaking to you and through you at all times, mirroring the relations, mirroring the experiences, whether it's an ant on the ground going across the floor or if it's you speaking to your mother. That conversation is mirroring something into you because you're projecting it out. You're like a projector projecting out your reality. Your consciousness is yours to play with. And sometimes being able to see the discerning, like what is true and what is not, is going, just FYI right now, it's just going to be really hard to do. Really hard to do with all of these kinds of transits. And I will say, Ron, in our session, please write me these questions that you have, and I'll make sure and we'll address it astrologically, because your blueprint, your astrological blueprint, helps you to have a GPS, like looking, okay, this is where I'm at, and this is where the cosmos are going. And it gives you kind of a clue as to who you are at a soul level, so that you'll be able to effortlessly tap in and tune out or tune in. What was it that Abraham Hicks always say? Tap in and turn on, or something like that. Anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Donna says, if it's not just fair, it's not going to fly. Oh, that's right. She's back on that still. Okay, let me move this. There's a lot of TikTok. I'm telling you, I have fun with TikTok. I'm not
There's
on
a lot
there
of
all
ticks
the.
going on out here.
Aha! I don't have a lot of time for the ticks, but late at night, oh yeah, I will totally turn on the ticks and just like laugh my butt off before I go to sleep and before I do my light cleansing. Okay, so let's see. There's Deb. Deb saying, hi, awesome live. Thank you. We're so glad you're here. Yes. Constant leveling up, Ron says. Phyllis is here. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for being here, Phyllis. Yes, surrender. Zavia says surrender. Ron said, thank you. That was great. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you both, he says. Let the spirit guide. All right. Very cool. So it's nobody else has any more questions. I have an idea. How about I'm going to give my practice of what I do to center myself, calm myself, and clear myself before I go to bed at night. And you want to do the same thing? Because I really know right now, dream time, a lot of us are working. You are not in your physical body. You are working in your dream time. It may not appear like work. It may be like crazy. But trust that you are literally working in your dream time. So it's really important to kind of tap in, take that extra time to clear yourself of the energy. You may have picked up little squirrely energy throughout the day that you don't realize. So what do you think about that? You want to do that? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so for me, and this doesn't take long, it's very simple. I will basically just, of course, I'm all clean. I've cleaned myself and all of the things. I've prepared my skin, my face. I've sprayed myself down with a little bit of my different holy waters or whatever. I take care of the physical. I'm very Libra. I have a lot of Libra. And so then I'll go to bed and you just close your eyes. And it's almost like mechanical. And it just literally shields all from my crown, above my crown, all the way down past my feet. I'm in this shield. And I just cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete. And then I flip a switch. And just like the shit that's supposed to come out the bottom, it shoots out my feet. And all the negative energies are gone. And I'm encased in the bubble as I sleep. And I'm protected. And sometimes the guides come around and they work on me during that time. And I can feel them poking on me. And I felt my cat jump up on the bed the other night. Like literally my cat spirit is totally there. Like every day, every night, I still have the blanket on the bed. I keep the door cracked because I know the cat needs to go out to get a drink. Call me crazy. I know this sounds nuts, but this stuff is really happening because we are waking up. Everybody's upping a notch of their layers of their psychic wisdoms,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what I do, and I cancel, clear, delete, and I call on my guides, and I do all of the light stuff, but it literally takes me a couple minutes, and I'm done. I'm out. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. I don't need to. I don't need to spend a lot of time trying to get myself into that state of bliss, because I've already been in bliss, because I've been watching stupid ass shit on TikTok, laughing my butt off. Laughter is the key.
It's the best shifting of energy there is.
It is so
Outside of a
totally.
good hard cry. Well, for me, it's I always rinse off in the shower, and sometimes I'll use goat soap or something, and just pretend I'm lathering off my day. And I crawl into bed, and I always ask my guide team to come a little bit closer and give me a snuggle hug, and I'll visually be able to see moving colored consciousness. And it's like I know my team's there. And then I just say thank you for a good night's sleep, and thank you for whatever information that I am to learn tonight. And I will go to sleep. Now, there are times when I will wake up a lot. And I
Yeah.
used to go, damn it, and now I go, thanks, because they just landed me back in my body, because I'm about
Yeah.
to lift off and go somewhere else. So every time I wake up and roll over, I go, thanks, in my mind, of course.
Nice.
And I just roll over and I drift off into something else. And this is powerful for me because I've always had a sleep disorder. It's been very
Oh.
difficult, very, very difficult. So many times for many, many moons, I would just lay there in a state of what I had to learn to, like, slumber. Like, I just had to close my eyes and let my body go into a real deep still point, even though I was very conscious of everything. So
Yeah.
in the last few
Wow.
years, I've just had much more respect. So I stop all caffeine or any stimulants before 1 in the afternoon. I work on not eating 3 or 4 hours before bed. So I really had to start practicing my own hygiene, because I can't offer anyone else
Yep.
anything if my physical, mental, emotional being is not rested.
True.
And the same goes for all of us. And then we're going to see things occur, you know, in all of us that are waiting to occur if more people would just start getting in their conscious mind and start practicing some simple sleep hygiene.
And are you conscious of your consciousness? I've been saying this for years. Ask yourself, am I conscious of my consciousness? Remembering that as you walk through your mundane life, all the way up to going to sleep, you can call upon your highest consciousness. You got multiple guides. You can switch them around to get to know them, talk to your guides. You have to really begin that relationship with your highest self, your guides. Hold on a second. I've got one here. Amy says, and this will be the last question: how would you recommend crossing over stuck spirits? Ew. Okay, hold on. Do you want to answer, or you want me to answer?
Well, I can give a simple answer while you do that. I don't know what you're doing there.
Okay, so this is my witch's stem. Okay, you see this, right?
She's got a peephole.
I do. It's a portal, not a peephole. So
Love
this
it.
is my witch's. Oh shit. Okay, so here is.
Oh,
Do you see this?
yeah, I see this. I think everyone can see it.
Okay. So whenever you got a spirit that you need to get the heck out of there, you can just like look at them through this and imagine that it's like a little portal that's sucking them in there, and you just suck them down in there, and then you can peep at them, and you'll be able to see them if you can find a portal stone. But there's not very many of these like this. You got to find one in nature, all natural, perfect circle stone. See how perfect that circle is? So that's how. But if you want to wrangle spirits and get some good grid work going, like, just pick a property, go smudge, go connect, and ask them, who are you and what are you here for? And they will answer you. If you're psychically aware enough, they'll answer you. And you just go from there. And like, I know if they're bad, like that horrendous property over at the Zoology Fest, I did 30 acres of insane carnival haunted horror property for that. And that wiped me out so bad that I couldn't do the meet and greet that night. Like I was like down. But it's about grid work, like literally doing the grid work, knowing which stones and herbs to take, knowing which guides to call upon, putting them in the corners in the right order, the directions, east, west, and pulling in on your guides. I had my dragons there to burn a lot of that stuff away. It was like night and day, the energy when I arrived versus the energy when everybody came. You were there, and so was Ernestine. She was there early, and she had even come up to me and she goes, I don't know what you did, but this feels so much better. Thank you. And it was a lot. But there's a process. And I love doing grid work. I love wrangling lost souls, dark shadows, just whatever. I've been doing that for a long time. I've been doing that when I was very young. And it's not hard. It's just you can't really teach that. You just do it. And you either are or you're not. And sometimes stuff like that, if you need step-by-step assistance or guidance, myself or Sandra is always here for you, I think. Anyway, so don't forget to use your witch's stone.
Okay, so my answer to that question is not all spirits are asking you to cross over. So she's right. You've got to ask them, what are you doing? If you choose to dialogue. My most recent spirit that crossed in front of me was just simply a spirit that was checking in on a loved one that I was doing some elder care. And they just wanted to come through the room. My human side could have said, oh shit, oh my God, we got to get rid of you. You got to go, and I tried to send them off. Or my experienced innate self was like, and I got the message in a telepathic way. I'm just here. I just saw it and observed, and it just said, I'm here just to look in on an ancestor. And I was like,
love that.
Well, that's so cool. So, I used to have a lot of beings appear to me. I could see them clear as a bell. Like I can see Chanda right now. And I would ask, what are we doing? Or what am I supposed to do? And for a while, I didn't know what to do until more and more kept coming. And I thought, wait a second, this is not the line of work I want to go in. I don't know that I want to have all this experience. So then I was told to call on the angels of transcendence to open the portal of transcendence, and to simply open the portal and allow whoever wanted to go through the portal back to source or wherever could go, and the ones that were to stay. That wasn't my job to shove anybody through it. So I'm very careful with that kind of work that I've done. And there's people that it comes innately to, and there's people who have to really study different modalities to learn how to do that, because some of these little effers are harsh little boogers, and they need to be, encased in a crystal and sealed in there so they don't create any more harm. And others they're just wandering around and they're okay being here.
I have a few in my freezer.
I'm sure you do. And do you take your little thing and peek at them? I gotta see you in there.
It's a witch's stone. Stop it. You give it a name.
God.
Call it. It is a witch's stone. Look. Anyway.
I know it is. And only you would have one. I love it.
So funny. Okay, so it looks like everybody else is like here and talking and chatting. Any more questions? I think that was the last question. Oh, serious. We're going to end it on a serious note. Okay. Everybody really understand that everybody is going to be overly emotional, overly edgy, overly over on steroids. It is a fun house matrix. It's a carnival matrix. And just expect the crazy out, because it's all coming out, everything surfacing, and it could be in your personal life, or it could be just out in the matrix. Seriously, everybody, just know that you're safe. If you know you're safe and you feel safe, because this is a big safety and security era of, am I safe? How do I feel valued? Are my values, are my valuables safe? And security's big, till April, with Mars doing its retrograde dance through Cancer and then Leo and then back into Cancer. So it's kind of like and then we have a lot of watery emotion, a lot of water going on in the astrology as well. Lots and lots of water. I had one. Where did it go? Here we go. Amy has it here. I don't see Zavia's question. I'm sorry. Well, there's so many. Okay. Well, my eyes are doing funny things. Here we go. Amy says, prayers to weaken the storm for Helene. You're safe, protected, and loved. Yes, absolutely. You know, everybody's getting hit by that storm right now. The it's a pretty big, it's like 2 almost category 3 storm hitting the panhandle of Florida. So yeah, just send positive energy, calming the storm, and maybe just electricity. I know our dear friend Jamie Lynn, who does the Mayan calendar galactic daily update. She does the daily wisdom, the Mayan day. She's without electricity right now in Florida. You know, so it just always sucks. Those of us that live on the coast, hurricanes suck, but you know, it's part of coastal living. It's part of what you know, if you're in the middle of the country of Texas or West Texas where I was from, I used to get tornadoes, you know, so it's, you know, it's what it is what it is. You get avalanches if you're in the mountains. Fires in, you know, in the mountains and stuff in the summer. So this is our time period for the big cleansing, and that area needs a deep cleanse, obviously, or would not be receiving it. And I think that we should just, you know, send all the love and prayers out to them for sure. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think that does it for all of us. Kelly says that Mars in Cancer is going to be around for a long time. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Zavia says, I just tell them to leave. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't want to be disturbed, you have the right to be able to say that, especially in your sleeping space. You can say, no mischief, you're not invited here at this time, you may not enter, and you may not disturb anyone else in my home. You know, go to the attic. And
Okay. Grab your witch's stone. So Zavia says, what's going on if you're in a familiar place that doesn't feel familiar?
So are we talking a deja vu type thing?
Yeah.
You know, because most of the deja vus are familiar, but they can feel very odd right now. And it's very, very old memories just coming up. You don't have to stay there and dwell on it. Try to get roots and boots on the ground and figure out why am I here? What am I seeing this? You could just be, okay, thank you. If you want me to know more, show me more. But it's really more about the feeling. Like you're feeling like you're in a different space.
Right. Right.
And, you know, we always look for familiarity in any strange place. When we go anywhere, we look for something that looks familiar, a person that looks familiar. We want to go gather, be attracted to that. And this is really about how can you be on your own little island, your own little stone, and be familiar with the unfamiliar. And let it show you something, because it could be something locked away in that subconscious. And it's just coming forth and showing you a smidget of that in this moment. And it may come forward later and show you the second smidget. And you may have a storyline at some point. You may not. It may just be a feeling.
Oh, she says, it's not deja vu. It's like in the town I'm in, but it doesn't feel or look familiar. I know this one. I know exactly what you're talking about. So it's like when you're there in whatever location on the planet that you're in, and you look around and you're like, you know that you're there, but it doesn't feel like it's real. Like it's not real. Like there's some kind of like feeling of, like sometimes I can feel the air. I can literally feel the air. Like I could just touch the air, feel the air. And looking and observing, sometimes I honestly, God, say in my mind, where am I? What is this? What is going on here? And it's so interesting. So if you're in a state or a town or wherever you're at, but your state of being and it doesn't feel familiar, just be in awe of your moments. Just be like, wow, this is like a trip, because life is a trip, is it not? It's such a trip.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I mentioned that earlier. I mentioned earlier about, being in a space and then realizing, am I actually here? Am I actually here? And having to almost like pinch myself and realize, oh, I am really here. But things look familiar, but they don't look and feel familiar. And it's to me, I was describing it as a deja vu, but one that isn't familiar, because that's how
Mhm.
the dreamy, watery feeling feels like in my body. Like my
Yeah.
mind, my consciousness is in a different space, but yet
Mhm.
I know I'm physically right there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is
Yeah, I
is
get
what I
it.
was yeah. So
No,
I
no,
get
we
that.
we got it. Yeah, yeah, we get it. We get
Mhm.
it totally. All right, so Hector is like, what's going on with the solar eclipse? All of that stuff. You'll have to come in on Tuesday to the Astro Tuesday Night Live, because I'm going to dive straight down deep into the solar eclipse chart. I will tell you, I've labeled this Visions of Legacy and Legalities. I claimed that well over a month and a half ago, when I was talking about both eclipses. It's a big visionary time. This is about a lot of justice being served. This is coming to some completions, but it's always going to be the experiences that we are having, people and relationships, because Libra is all about relations. In our money, big money changes happening, and some serious like halts. Halt. This must change. It's kind of like Pluto's, coming in and saying, this has to change, and I'm not coming back here. This is it. This is the last time Pluto is working over the tail end, most critical crisis 29 degrees of Capricorn. And so that, with the eclipses, it's more than just the eclipse. There's so much going on. And I'm going to show you all the angles. I'm going to show you the chart. I'm going to show you everything. So please come back and join us, or join myself and join the Sparkle Tribe. And of course, we love it when Sandra joins us in too. And we'll be here next week. Any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, I just the importance of being conscious, and in that I know that's not easy, because if you just practice conscious awareness, count the seconds before your mind goes to a different thought or a rerun of something else or something
Yeah.
that hasn't occurred. It will happen in a split second. So it's something that you have to almost diligently go, I'm going to be conscious in this moment. And like
Mm-hmm.
literally be conscious, like look at your desk, look at your hands, look at your
Mm-hmm.
clothes, look at the things around you,
Mm-hmm.
and then see how many seconds you can obtain that consciousness
Yeah.
before some other thought slips in there, takes you forward or takes you backwards.
Right. Right. And Kelly's Corner says, thanks so much for everyone popping in. Be sure to catch the replay and like and comment, subscribe so that you can win. Remember, we have an incredible $400 value giveaway that we're giving away with Sandra Isis. Massive package. We'll be showing you more details on that this Tuesday as well. And I think that wraps it up. Thanks for hanging out with me today, sister.
Absolutely.
Walk
Just
in the
remember,
light. You want to go first this time, or me? All
there's
right.
like a delay.
It's okay. Oh, sorry. Walk in the light and spread the sparkle. You are the God spark.
And remember, as the world turns, so do you. Choose your turn or be tossed.